So today we will continue from where we had stopped. We were seeing data validation. We had started with MS Access a long time ago, and we already are aware about how to create a table, okay, how to insert records, what is data sheet view, what is design view, and you also know what are fields and what are data types, right? So today we are going to just proceed a little bit forward and we will see how we can actually apply data validation in certain fields on our table as well as on certain uh, values, certain records. Okay. As I had explained that there are two types of data validations. One of them is where is okay, I need to open that. Wait. So there are two types of data validations. One type of validation is which is applied on a single field, and the second type of validation is which is applied on the entire table. Okay. So one of them is a field validation.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So one of them is a field validation and the second one is a record validation. So when I say field validation, what does field validation mean? Field validation is a validation which is only applied on a single field. Applied on a single field. Whereas record validation is applied on more than one fields. Hence, we say that it is applied on a record rather than a field because a record is a collection of multiple field values. So record validation will always involve more than one fields, whereas field validation will always contain one field. Let's start with one example of field validation. So I'm giving you all a question. So apply a field validation on a field salary in a table where salary should be at least 5,000. So this is a field validation which we have to apply. Now, what do we need to do? Suppose we have a field named salary. So we will write salary within brackets like this. Okay. And it says that salary should be at least 5,000. Means minimum salary should be 5,000. It can also be more than that. So we will write salary greater than equal to 5,000. This is going to be our expression, validation expression. Okay, now let us apply this on our table. So we will go back to the table and we will apply this. One sec, let me switch off some extra softwares. We'll go back to Access. So this is Access and I'm going to create a table, and this table is going to be a dummy table which will contain all the different fields which we use for either data validation or for input mask. Okay, so we'll go to table design and we'll create some fields over here. So I'm just creating the salary field for the time being, right? And I'm going to take the value as number. Sorry, I'm going to take the value as currency over here. Okay, and I'm going to apply the validation on this field. So first I will save this. So let me save the table as sample. That is a sample table. And this is my table which consists of only one column. So now I'll select this column and I will go to fields, table tools, fields option. In this, I will be going to this field validation option. and I'll go to validation and I'll click on the first option, that is field validation. Now here I have to type that, in this box I have to type that expression. So what is that expression going to be? Salary greater than equal to 5,000. Okay, and click on OK. Now let us try inserting any value here. Suppose I insert a value 500. So you can see that the moment I pressed enter, it gave me a message. One or more values are prohibited by the validation rule set for salary. Sample.salary means name of the table dot the name of the field. Okay. Usually in databases, field names are always accessed using their tables to which they belong. So it says that the salary field belongs to which table? Sample table. Enter a value that the expression for this field can accept. So this is giving me an error and it is not going. I'm trying to press the down arrow key. It still gives me this error. I'm trying to press the enter key. It is giving me this error. So it will not allow me to proceed further with saving the table or anything until and unless I enter the correct value. So now if I add another 0, it will allow me to enter the value. Did you all understand what is happening over here? Students?
Ma'am, can you just repeat the procedure once?
Yeah, 1 second. I'll repeat it. But I'm just trying to ask you one thing. Did you understand the utility of data validation? कि इसको use क्यों करते हैं हम? How it can be helpful to you when you are creating your table. See, it will restrict the person. Even if the person who is entering wrong data, that person is not aware. Suppose by I had to enter 5,000, but I entered 500. Okay, and I was going to press enter. Okay, so I will quickly check. Okay, I got an error message. So there I will make the correction. This will prompt the data entry operator to make the correction. Yes, Rachit, I'm going to explain it once again with another example. Okay, so now let us move on to another example. I'm giving you another question. Restrict the data entry operator such that he or she enters salary values in the range 5,000 and 5 lakh. You have to restrict, yes.
Ma'am, we can apply this field validation only on this currency data type?
No, you can apply on any of them. I have just started with this, Preet. Okay. So
Okay.
right now I have taken the salary field. Slowly and gradually we will try to apply this on other fields also. Understood? You can apply this on number also, text fields also, but only thing in text fields you won't be able to perform any numeric operation, right? So you can apply this data validation on any field according to the requirement. Understood? So we will very soon we will be having a question. In that question you will understand how you can restrict the data entry on certain fields. Can anybody tell me what expression you should build for the second question? We had studied relational logical operators in the previous class when we were studying about validation. Can you tell me what expression you can build over here?
Ma'am,
Salary.
salary in this brackets and then between 5,000.
Very good, very
between
good.
5,000 and 5 lakh.
Very
5
good.
lakh.
Between, I'm very happy that you remembered the between keyword. Between 5,000 and 5 lakh, which means 5,000 and 5 lakh is included. Inclusive. Okay, it includes these two values. Understood? So very good answer, and we are going to apply this on the table now. So I am going to go again. I'm going to select. Students, are you able to view it? I have magnified the screen a little bit. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So we'll go to validation and we'll again go to field validation rule, and we will just replace this. See, whatever field you need to type, you have to type it within square brackets. Okay, and the name of the field should be exactly what it is there in the table. If salary is all small letters, then you have to type all small letters over here. Between 5,000 and 5 lakh, right? And we will click on OK. And we will save the table. Okay, right now. And now I'm trying to insert something like, let me insert something more than 5 lakh. It gave me an error. One or more values. Again, it gave me that same error. It should be between this range. And if I try to enter something.
Ma'am, ma'am, I think you wrote 50,000.
1 second. No. Check it. 5 lakh 10,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? 1 sec. I'll even. Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, a rupees sign.
It will come automatically here when I enter the correct value. Like I entered 50,000 here and I pressed enter, then it automatically took the rupees sign. Because I've already set its value, its data type as currency, and its format is also set as currency. Got it? So automatically it took the rupees sign. Understood? Next thing is, I was getting a very long error message. Instead of that error message, I can set my own error message also. How? Select the field, go to validation and select field validation message. This is for set the error message for field validation rule. So here you can set the validation message like, sorry, enter any value between 5,000 and 5 lakh. I entered my own validation message over here. Now I try to enter any wrong value, say 1,000. It gives me that error message which I have set. Understood? So this way you can even set your own validation message. Understood? So I will enter 10,000. Yes. Tell me.
Please tell that that prompt how you entered of R type.
Okay, we had to go to, first you select the field, then you go to validation, that is field table tools, fields tab, field validation group. Okay, validation and then field validation message. Here you can enter any message according to your choice. Understood?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
And ma'am,
Next is
while we were writing that salary between 5,000 and 5 lakh, at that time, is it necessary to add spaces in between them?
Yes, because look here, when I say this, 1 second. See, each of these, now this between is a keyword. This between, it is a keyword, right? Keyword means they are reserved words. You cannot change the keyword, or the keywords have a specific meaning. They have a specific function. So between and are what? They are keywords, right? And when I talk about, wait, I'll write it here, keywords. And some are user defined values. So what are the keywords? These two are the keywords. Whereas salary is what? It is a user defined field, right? And 5,000 is also a user defined value. 5 lakh is also a user defined value. So you have to separate each one of them, because this is some programming which you are doing. This is also some coding which you are doing, okay, in Access. So everything has to be separated by a space so that Access knows which one is a keyword and which one is a user defined value. Understood? And this makes the statement readable also. Is it clear?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now I'm giving another question. enter a field named order date, that is date of ordering something, okay, and restrict it in such a way that user that it accepts only those dates which are which fall on or before the current date. Read the question very carefully. We have to create a field named order date. So our field will be like this, order date. Fine. And we have to restrict it in such a way that it accepts only those dates which fall on or before the current date. Current date means today's date. How do we get today's date? There is a function, there is a date function which we will be using, which allows us to get the current date. So I'll tell you how this function works. We have a date function which gives you the current date. This function returns the current date. Whatever system date is fixed, it will extract the date from your system and it will return the current date. Now order date should be, it should fall on the current date or before current date. So what will I write? Less than or equal to date. That is, here the meaning of less than is order date should be a date which falls either that is either today or it falls on any date which is before today, yesterday, day before yesterday, and so on the past dates. It should not be a date in the future. So this is the expression which we are going to write. Okay, so let's do this on the table and we are going to switch to the design view. And we are going to add a field that is order date and its data type as date time, right? Now I'm going to save it. I'm going to go to the data sheet view, select order date. Okay, which menu should I go to first? Tell me. Which menu will I go to?
Fields.
We'll go to fields. Fine. Then from fields,
Validation.
validation. Very good. Okay, now.
Field validation rule.
Yes, very good. And what should I type here?
Expression.
In square brackets, order date.
Okay,
Order
good.
date.
Brackets order.
Less than equal to the
Less than
date
equal.
function. And you can see this is a date function which returns the current date. So we'll click on OK. Okay, it is saying existing data violates. So you can just do one thing. To keep the new setting and continue testing, click yes. So I will click on yes. Okay. And here you can see you get a date over here, a calendar date. Let us set a date which falls tomorrow and press enter. You can see that it is giving me this error. Why? Because it is not according to the field validation rule which I had set. Okay. So if I make it, if I change it and make it 1, it is accepting. If I select any date prior to this date, it is accepting that date, but it will not accept any date which falls beyond today's date. Understood that? So because order date is what, it can be either be today or it can be on any of the previous dates. किसी ने कोई चीज ऑर्डर करी, ओके, तो ऑर्डर प्लेस कब किया गया? आज किया गया या फिर किसी ऐसे डेट में किया गया जो गुजर गया हो. Okay, it is not like he has placed the order in a future date, the date which has not yet come. How can he place the order on that date? Understood? So you have to think it in that way. So here you have to again make changes so that you get the correct answer. So this is how you can restrict the user to enter only specific values. Understood? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Now next is record validation. Now record validation, it involves more than one fields, right? So we will try to create two fields over here. Let me form two fields. One of the fields is going to be date of birth, okay? And the other field is going to be date of joining. Now, that problem which we were facing that day, anybody can enter date of birth. Date of birth, obviously people will be entering the correct date. Sorry, anybody enters a date of joining as, suppose it is something like 25th August 2020. This is the date of joining, and somebody entered, and the data entry operator entered the date of birth as 19th February 2014. Is it possible? Only a 6-year-old employee in the company, is that possible? No.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so the employee should be, at least we can set a criteria, at least he should be 18 years old, right? So how can I fix the validation rule? So I can write DOJ, date of joining, should be greater than or equal to date of birth plus how much? 20. Now listen very carefully. When I say date of joining or date of birth, they contain three things. One is the date, one is the month, and one is the year. Okay, हमें date और month से लेना देना नहीं है. We need to basically take care of what? Year. We need to extract the year part from both of them. So for this, we will be using a year function, which extracts the year part from a date. I will apply this year function here on the DOJ. This will give me the year part of DOJ. Greater than equal to, again, year part of DOB plus 20. That is, it should be either equal to 20 years plus date of birth, or it can be greater than that, but not less than that. Here you can also write 18, okay, but I am setting it minimum as 20. Understood? So we are, everybody understood this expression, that a person who is working in the company as an employee, he cannot be 6-year-old or 2 years old or 4 years old. At least he should be 20 years old to work in the company. Okay, so data, and normally date is one such type of data field. It's one such type of field. Normally data entry operators, after working for long hours, they tend to commit mistakes. So they can easily commit mistakes while entering the date of birth and date of joining. So this record validation is going to restrict the user from entering incorrect data. Okay, so we are going to go back to Access, and over here I'm going to first save the table because I have already included the two fields, and now I'll switch to the datasheet view, and I will select the entire table now. So I'll click over here because I'm going to apply a record validation. It's no more a field validation which is restricted to one field. Now it is a record validation. So I have to select the entire table. Then I'll go to fields, I'll go to validation, and I'll select validation rule. Create an expression that restricts the values that can be entered into a record. Okay, so I'll click on this, and we are going to set the expression. Year DOJ greater than equal to year DOB. So year returns a numeric value, students. Okay. So this is my expression. I'll click on OK, and I'll click on yes. And now let's start. Okay. So first I'm going to enter DOB. So let's enter any date, and let's set the date of birth as something like year 2000. I can set it as year 2010. Okay. And let me set the date of joining as today. Press enter, and you can see that it is violating the rule. If I change this date of birth now, if I change this to year 2000, and then press enter, it is readily accepting, because the difference now is what, 20 years, which is already there. That is, it can be equal to 20 years. If I set it as 2001, एक साल भी ज्यादा ले लिया तो it gives me an error. Okay, so I have to make the setting, either I make the change over here, that is I set it as 2021, that case it will be acceptable. Okay, मतलब दोनों जो चीजें हैं, both these fields should be following the validation. Understood? Is this clear to everybody? You can see the validation rule once again. This is the validation rule. The year part of date of joining should be greater than equal to year part of date of birth plus 20 years. Okay, if I have to make sure that date of joining is either equal to date of birth plus 20 years or more than that. Is it clear to everybody? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you people are going to do one thing. I'm giving this question, so you will yourself try to do it, right? So the question says, insert a field in your table named, insert two fields actually, insert two fields in your table named, one is reorder quantity and wait. Insert two fields. One is house rent allowance and the other one is basic. Okay, basic is the basic salary, basic pay of an employee, and HRA is what? House rent allowance, right? So you have to make sure that basic should, sorry, house rent allowance as HRA should never exceed basic. You have to make sure that HRA never exceeds basic. Set the data type of both as currency. Understood? And you have to make sure that HRA never exceeds basic. What expression will you form over here?
Ma'am, what is basic here?
Basic salary of an employee. There is a basic salary which an employee gets. On top of that, he gets allowances like house rent allowance is there, then travel allowance is there, dearness allowance is there. Okay. Then some deductions are also there, like provident fund, employees contribution. Okay, that is there. Celebration funds. So after everything, after all additions and deductions, what employee gets is the net salary. But the basic salary, जो उसकी salary है, basic pay, okay, that is known as basic. The basic can never exceed HRA. Sorry, HRA house rent allowance should be a value which always is less than or equal to basic. So I already gave you the answer. HRA should be less than or equal to basic. Did you get it, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's solve some question. And you can see some examples which you can do it on your own, students. Not equal to 0, greater than equal to 0, that is enter only positive values. Okay, to enter a valid date between two dates. Now how you can see that two dates are, if you have to specify a date, it has to be mentioned within hash, between hashtag. Understood? So greater than equal to this date and less than this date means the date should fall in between this range. Date should be some date which is before this date and some date which is after this date or equal to this date. So this is for you people to try out. Let us start with this one. Let us take the example of student table with following fields. So let's create a student table in our database. So we will be closing this sample and we'll be going to which menu. We'll be going to create, we'll be going to table design, and here first of all we'll save the table student. Click on, okay, we have to at least enter one field, right? So the first field over here is student ID, whose data type is text, and what are the field properties? Size 4, and it should be a primary key. Who is going to tell me the answer to this? कैसे क्या करना है? I'll type the field name for you. Student ID. Check it very carefully, students. And tell me what you have to do in this. First one, that is student ID. You have to set the field properties I had explained in the previous class. Time while you are thinking, I'll take the attendance. Yes, come on. Anyone? Raise your hands at least.
Ma'am, can you tell the question once again?
Question is, now let me ask somebody else also. Okay, 1 second. I'll repeat the question. Question is this. You have to insert this field name, set its data type, and set its field properties. Size equals 4 and primary key. Let me select anyone. Rachit Gupta, can you answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Please give me the answer to this first one. How you
Yes.
will make the settings.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is it. You have to set the size as 4 and primary key. So we'll go to the table. Okay, so this is the field. Now, how do I set it as primary key?
Ma'am, you have to select, ma'am, the place where your cursor is, you have to just click on that, right click on that.
Okay.
Then the option is coming of primary key.
Okay, so I can select primary key from here and you can see automatically this primary key icon gets enabled. Okay. Second is I have to set its size as 4. So what will I do for that? So I'm over here in the field properties section.
Yes, ma'am. In the first column, it is written that file. Yes, ma'am. File size. Here we can set font size, maybe.
Not font size, the number of characters. Okay, size of the field. That is how many maximum characters it can accept. So in the question, it has been said 4 characters because student ID should not be very long. So that is why 4 characters is enough. Understood? So it has been set over here. The first question is done. Second part, student name. Text, size 25, required, yes. What do you mean by required now? Anybody else? Let me ask someone who will answer. Vishwajit, 10th. 10th, Vishwajit, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What do you understand by the required field?
It should be of 25 letters size.
Okay, that is okay. And what do you mean by this required? इसका मतलब क्या होता है? What is required? Anyone else? Anybody? Question is open to anyone?
Ma'am, that this field cannot be left empty and it has to be, some value has to be given to it.
Yes, very good. This field cannot be left empty. Okay, so we will again go back to our table and add this studname, and you can see that I am following all the rules. I am following the exact way in which they have type the field name. Okay, type is short text, fine. Select this. Okay, field size has to be 25. So I will be going to field size option, remove this 5 from here. Next I'll come to required, and here I can type yes. Okay, and I can press save. Next one, DOB date time medium date format. Someone else, only Preet and Rachit and Brahmajot, they are answering the questions. What about others? Yes, Kushagra Kumar, can you give the answer to this one? DOB. Are you there, Kushagra Kumar? Okay, let me ask someone. Abhilasha Thakur, 10th. Rajiv Kumar Paswan, 10th. Tenth D, Aditya Rajput. Prathamesh. Okay, yes, Prathamesh.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
And first we will add a new field name DOB.
Okay, very good. Fine. So I'm adding a new field named DOB here.
Ma'am, then we will select the data type as date and time.
Okay, so I'm selecting the data type as date and time. Next.
Ma'am, then in format you will select medium date and time.
Yes, very good, Prathamesh. So it's not very difficult, students. Okay, so it is set to be medium date, right? Let us check
Yes,
it. Yes, it is medium date format and save it. Very good, Prathamesh. Next is sex, and data type is text, and field properties size equals 1, because you have to enter either M or F. Okay, short text, and I'm going to go to field size and set it as 1, and that's it. And the last one, marks, number, size equals byte. So we are going to change this. Last is marks, N for number, select this, come back over here in field size, and there is something known as byte. Byte means it will save everything in the form of 1 byte. Okay, so it will be very small number. So I can set byte over here. That is, we need only, okay, fine, nothing. So we have saved the table, and now let's switch to the data sheet view and try to enter some value, right? So S1, I'm going to enter, I'm entering S101, because, and you can see that if I enter S1001, I cannot enter. It is not accepting anything. I'm trying to enter one over here, and it's not accepting that one. Okay, why? Because I had set the maximum field width as 4. Student name, I had set it as 25. Okay, so I can set the student name. Date of birth, again I can set the date of birth. So I'm setting the date of birth as anything, and I'll change it. So I'll change the date of birth from here, and M, and marks 78. Okay, so you can see that it is accepting 78. Let me try to enter any other value. It is not entering because it is exceeding the field size. Usually marks is out of 100. Okay, so it should not exceed 2 digits, right? So this is how you can restrict the data entry by the data entry operator. Let's come to the next part. Now I'll be telling you about input mask, students. We had left that part in the previous class, so I'll be explaining input mask today. So input mask, you have to, I had explained that it is a way in which you can again restrict the data entry. So input mask property. Again, its task is to restrict the data entry. Data entry can be made or can be forced to be done in a specific format. Like I had given you the example of debit or credit card data, debit card number. Normally in most web applications you might have found, or transaction gateways, you might have seen that the moment you enter first 5 digits, automatically it takes up a dash after that. Then you enter anything. I'm not actually typing any debit card number over here, okay? कोई मनगढ़ंत number है ये. Understood? So this is how it automatically takes up dashes in between. Then CVV number, usually it is of 3 digits, so it doesn't accept any 4th digit. Then expiry date, you type expiry date, automatic, the moment you press 01, after that it takes up, it automatically jumps to the next character, which is after the slash. Okay, so this is what you can restrict the data entry operator by the user. Understood? So how you can do that? So let's try to do it on our sample table only. So we'll go to the sample table and we'll switch to the data design view, and here let us try to create something like debit card number, although it should not be there, but I'm just telling you, giving you an example. And one more thing, students, you might be compelled to insert a dot over here, but remember that Access doesn't accept that dot. Okay, so remove the dot. Now remember one thing, your input mask is only applicable on text fields and date fields, not on numeric fields. Okay, so you can apply input mask property only on textual and date time fields, right? So here, that is the reason why we have to have this debit card number as short text. Understood? Because you don't need to perform any calculations on that. So we will just select this. We'll come down over here and we'll come down to input mask property. Now what do I need over here? Look very closely. If it is some number like this, what do you see? First 4 numbers, then a dash, then 4 numbers, then a dash, then 4 numbers, then a dash, and then 4 numbers. So if I come back to the table over here, I have 2 such characters. One is user must enter a digit and user can enter a digit. Now the thing is, in a debit card number, it is compulsory to add 16 digits. All 16 digits are compulsory. Understood? So out of 0 and 9, which one should I use? Out of 0 and 9, which one should I use?
Ma'am, 0.
I should enter 0, right? So my input mask will be something like this: 0 0 0 0 dash 0 0 0 0 dash. That means user has to enter any 4 digits in place of zeros, or wherever a 0 appears, user has to enter a digit. It could be any digit, but user has to enter a digit in place of 0. After first 4 zeros, automatically a dash will appear. Then again 4 zeros, then again a dash will appear. Then again 4 zeros, then again a dash will appear. So this is what I'm creating a mask for the user. Let's see how we can do that. So I've selected this. So I'll come down over here in input mask. Here, firstly, I'm going to enter how many? 4 zeros. Then I'm going to enter a dash, then again 4 zeros, then a dash, then again 4 zeros, then a dash, again 4 zeros. And I will save this. Okay. Now let's go back to the datasheet view. Come to the debit card option, right? Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
The moment I start typing, automatically it gives me a placeholder and accepts the data. अपने आप data accept कर रहा है. Is it easy or convenient or not? Will it be convenient for
Yes.
the user or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
It will be heavily convenient to the user because user will not have to worry about कि उसको कहाँ dash type करना है, कितने digits type करना है, because it will exactly accept 16 digit, ना एक digit कम ना एक digit ज़्यादा. Understood that? This is how you can restrict the user to enter the values. Next, I am going to explain. Let us try to figure out some other options, right? I want the user to enter the name in capital letters only. So we have two such characters for this. One is a greater than sign, which converts all letters to uppercase. And one is a less than sign, which converts all the letters to lowercase, right? So let's try this out. So we are going to enter a field over here, P name, that is person name, okay? And I will not apply anything right now. First, I will enter the data. There are two ways in which you can do this. So I'm going to explain both of those ways. So first, let me increase the font size and let me first. Okay, yes. Now let me enter the person name. 1 second, somebody has unmuted. Who is it? Pratmesh. Okay. Pratmesh, please keep yourself mute. Okay. Now, person name. So I'm entering some names over here. I'll just show it to you. Once you have done this, you'll go to the design view, select P name, and over here you come to input mask and just select greater than sign. Now this will work only when you have entered your values. 1 sec. Enter the value. Just a second. There is some problem over here. Not getting that. Anyways, wait. Wait a second, there is one glitch over here. Let me just see what it is. So I'll tell you the alternative method. Right now I have pressed greater than sign in input mask. Okay, and I'm saving it. And let me try to enter something. You can see that I'm typing, but nothing is getting accepted. Okay, so what I need to do is we need to check two more things, two more characters over here. That is, user must enter a letter or user can enter a letter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first make this setting. So I'll go back there and here I'm going to make this setting. So I will start the first character as capital, so greater than L. L means there should be at least one character. L means their user must enter a character or an alphabet. Okay, and rest all the letters I'm going to set it as question marks. That is, user can enter a letter. And I will save this and I'll go back to view option, and now you can see that already you are getting a placeholder. You can see that I have not pressed the caps lock key on my keyboard, but it is accepting all the data values in capital letters. Okay, so it is accepting all the letters in capital letters. I have not pressed shift key or caps lock key on my keyboard. So this is how you can restrict the user even more by giving him placeholders. Okay, so we stop over here and then we will solve another exercise on the next theory day. Thank you everybody. I stopped the screen share and I'm stopping the recording over here.